I will shortly recite to you in whole The Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell, a text with which any educated person should be well acquainted. So said, I do not presume to possess insight enough to offer lengthy introduction, but feel it prudent to offer only 2 key considerations at the outset. First, the term myth is not pejorative, and second, the monomyth is not prescriptive. To point 1, do not mistake the naming of some holy text as myth as a claim asserting that such text is fiction masquerading as the truth, but rather an assertion that it's truth garbed in lovely vestment. To clarify this point, we may find examples in the texts themselves. For instance, take how in Christian myth the Christ figure presents his teachings. He does not say pointedly, be open-minded, but rather describes how seed that's sown in fertile soil is more like to bloom and bear good fruit. He asks his listeners to be the fertile soil, and now, so too do I. Do not dismiss the term of myth as one meant offensively, but recognize the great respect with which it's said. Now to point 2, the monomyth does not prescribe nor otherwise ordain the ideal way a culture ought to organize its scripture. Instead, the monomyth describes an observation made toward how cultures have historically and even now make similar value judgments through their holy stories. I caution on this misconception because it is in good fashion in some circles to dismiss the work of Joseph Campbell as a how-to guide or take offense at the presumption that it tells the world how to organize its thought. This is wrong. The monomyth is very broad, akin to describing how a day proceeds from sunrise to sunset, and is not a specific guide but structural observation. The monomyth details how creatures who all necessarily know time in terms of birth to death tend to organize their feelings toward that common experience. So long as we are creatures that will die, that will age, that are born, the monomyth will describe something universal. Do not transpose this point. The monomyth emerges from the truth. It does not attempt to dictate it. So now enriched with these twin cautions, I feel the text itself may best serve its own further exploration, and thusly, without more, I offer the recited whole of Joseph Campbell's Hero with 1,000 Faces.